Hey guys, it's Zach. Welcome back to moveSKILL.com. In the video today, we're going to talk a little bit about how we want to approach the handstand push-up. We're going to address how we see you progressing through this movement. Now, just to give you a heads up, at this point, we're going to assume that you've moved past the handstand push-up piked positions, that you're able to at least lower yourself down from a negative all the way to the ground without having any major hiccups where you kind of smash your head into the ground. One thing I want to address about that, I don't want you to start stacking up a bunch of pads or like ab mats to kind of work as a barrier that you're going to take apart piece by piece. That does not really work in the long run. What we want to work on is that full range of motion. So if you are attempting to work a handstand push-up like that, I suggest you take a look at our videos where we show the pike position on the wall or the pike position on the box, and you work on addressing your weaknesses there. All right, the first thing we're going to talk about today is the hand placement position. This is actually going to be at the bottom of the handstand push-up. This is something we see a lot of mistakes being made with. People are lowering themselves down with their hands on either side of their head. Okay, so when they're down like this, they have basically no support. What we're working on here is eventually, in the long run, moving into a handstand push-up away from the wall. We want to be able to balance ourselves the entire time. The other thing you need to think about is this isn't a very strong pushing position, right? When we're pushing here, we're having issues controlling the shoulder, and this is when we see people come down, and drop. What I want you to think about is a military press. So your hands working in front of you like this. So I drew this lovely diagram here. At the bottom, I want your head and your hands to make a perfect tripod. The idea being that when you're pushing up, or sorry, when you're lowering yourself down, that your center of gravity is going to be right over the center of that tripod. Now, this isn't going to be exactly right when we work on this kicking up to a handstand against the wall. This is later on when we're going chest to wall. But the theory still works the same, so I'm going to show you that real quick. So Jim's going to help us out when we're looking at this hand placement position for the handstand push-up. The ab mat actually works really well for this. What you're going to see is Jim's going to stick his hand right at the corners of the ab mat, and the nice thing about the ab mat is it has that logo right at the top. That's going to be the goal for his head placement. So go ahead and, Jim, kick up to a handstand against the wall. And he's going to do a negative for us. So he's going to lower himself down, and watch what his elbows do. They come forward and his head comes towards that ab mat. So go ahead and come down. The nice thing is you can see some sweaty handprints where his hands were, and on the ab mat you'll have a nice little indentation. So you can double check yourself. You come down and you can see where your head was. You'll be surprised. You'll feel like you're pushing yourself forward, but more often than not you're a little bit too shallow. Like I said, if that triangle has really acute sides, you're not going to be in a very good position of support. So we're going to do this one more time, and what I'm going to cue Jim to do this time is really almost shove his back against the wall. So he's going to kick up again, and as he comes down he's going to shove that back towards the wall as he lowers himself down, slow, slow, slow. And notice how even when he hits that pad, he still controls himself into the bottom. All right, you ready to do a press? Jim's a little bit tired, but we're gonna make him do one. All right, so he's gonna kick up, and he's gonna lower himself down, maybe not as slow this time, but as soon as he hits that pad, he's gonna press straight up. All right, that looked good. Come on down. All right, the next thing we want to look at is when we're going to make the transition from kicking up back to wall in a handstand push-up to a chest to wall position. At this point, we want to see you have a lot of control. Understand, when we kick up to a handstand against the wall, and we've addressed this in our handstand video, you're not really creating a very good body line. This is the hips, the pelvis is going to be tilted back, your back's going to be overarched. This is okay in the beginning when we're just working on getting that handstand push-up, getting strong enough. But as soon as we're able to control being at the top, we want to switch to having your chest against the wall. The reason is, as you lower down, you want to lower yourself from this straight position and drive your head forward so that when you land, you're in this tripod position. And I always want you to think about, is my center of mass over the center of that tripod? If you're bringing your head in too shallow and you constantly feel yourself falling away, this is the problem. So we're going to go to the wall real quick and we're going to talk about this. All right, so we're going to look real quickly. I'm just going to kick up to a handstand. I want you to kind of look at the position of my body, and then I'm going to flip around to the chest to wall position. So once again, when I kick up into a handstand against the wall, the tendency is to overarch and not really have a good line in my body. And if we're really ultimately working towards a freestanding handstand push-up, this is going to be a problem. So once again, you really need to be ready to do the chest to wall position. So you need to be comfortable rolling out from a handstand, and you need to know that you have some ability to control that top position so you're not going to fall out. Obviously check your surroundings, make sure you're not going to land on something hard that might hurt yourself. So I'm going to set the ab mat up a little bit further in front so I have some space for my hands, and I'm going to walk myself up. Squeeze my butt, point my toes, and lower myself down forward and press back up. And in this bottom position, even away from the wall, I'm supported. This is what we want to look for. At the bottom, we want to see this slight angle. And the reason is, as my body comes down in that center position, is where my center of mass is. If you're lowering yourself down as if your back is against the wall, you're constantly going to fall over. So this is what we want to work on. Work the strength, work this full range of motion. Try not to collapse at the end. Try not to kip until you have to, and really focus on the hand placement. I hope this helps you guys in your pursuit of the handstand push-up. Have a good one.